Okay, I'm back. I had to clear some memory on my camera. So I think I was blowing the stuff through the fuel hole here. Coming out the diaphragm, so we know we're clear there. I'm just calling it that. I assume that's what it's called. I think that's the fuel fill hole here. And that's coming through. I can see it right here. It's right in front of the throttle body. And we'll go back to this main jet. Make sure you get a good look at it to see if it's spraying. Oh yeah, it's spraying. And back to this needle seat. I think that could be a problem. If I plug this diaphragm hole and I put this on here, it should spray down through that seat. And it is. That's a little trick there. Put it in the fuel fill, cover the diaphragm, spraying right down through the needle. Make sure you didn't blow your seal out of there. I don't believe I did. And then once I get this far, I get paint all over me. I want to make sure not to get that paint in anywhere, so I'm going to open up all this, spray it all down, both sides, and then I usually hit everything one more time and then put it back together. And the last thing I didn't talk about is the most problematic of the whole system. I'm going to take off my gloves here so I don't get paint in it. This is the one part that clogs and will mess up your idle for your whole engine. And I'm going to focus on it. I've showed this before in a lot of lawnmower videos. That hole. And if you spin this thing, let me take this off. There's actually a little tiny hole in the threads. If I can find it. I believe I see it, but you're not going to see it. It's right there above my nail. And I'm going to get a copper or brass little wire and run it through there and there without expanding it. Be very gentle. You don't want to widen this hole on this jet. So here's what I do. Get my brass brush. Try to cut the longest one off. Okay. Really be careful getting the paint if your paint comes off like mine just did. It's going to be really hard to see, but just wiggle it around in there. As far back as you can too, because it's probably gunked up. Actually, I think I'm mistaken. I don't believe this one has a hole in the threads for idle. I'm probably wrong. I'll have to do this all over again, but I might look that up real quick. Okay, I've decided that there's only one hole on this. So just clean it out again, seal it. You'll see it squirt out that hole when it's clean. Don't get carburetor cleaner on your hands. I'm going to spray off this needle and reinstall the needle onto the float first. Sometimes these are directional. I don't believe this one is, as far as the spring attachment, so look out for that. Yeah, a little butter. This one's gonna be a pain, hold on. Okay, after some cussing and swearing, I got that thing in there. And notice I didn't take this gasket off. That's because my principle is, if you don't know the engine runs, take off the least amount of gaskets as possible so that you don't have to change them, hopefully. And this is directional too. You put the flat side in the back. Think about it, the deeper side needs to go in the motion of the carburetor. And make sure you put your gasket back on. I'll call that directional as well. Oh, I got some paint on here. Okay, now just tighten that back on to your favorite torque spec. I'll say mine is about right there. That's it. I'm gonna do the reverse of my disassembly on the engine and we'll see if it fires. Make sure that ring is, that E-clip is seated in its ring there. Use the shirt trick, trust me. It sucks when you lose this. Alright, we're ready to give this thing a fire up. Oh, no, forgot to put the fill line on. Okay, that took some cursing. Let's try that again. So we're going to fill up float bowl. You can feel it when it's full, so it's definitely full now. And it's like 10 o'clock at night, but we'll give it a try. Okay, neutral. Like I said before, I think this throttle's messed up, so I'm going to put it in the start position. Close the choke.